Hey, teenagers, young people, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. We started off something very interesting in the last three episodes. We talked about the primal wounds of the heart. Today, we are going to jump into another topic. It is the cynicism of the mind. Cynicism of the mind means there are two factors that is involved in that. One is a passing doubt or a question that causes the cynicism of the mind, or it's a nagging doubt or unbelief that can start the cynicism of the mind. So you need to come to that place and ask yourself this question: how is the cynicism of the mind stop me? Very good question. Very, very good question. The cynicism of the mind can stop you because you will start reasoning certain things and you will not move forward. Rather, the worst case, you will start moving backward. I think we all in our lives, we have to move forward. We all in our lives have to move forward and move upwards, right? That's exactly what needs to happen in our lives, right? So you as a teenager, you as a young person, you might have a lot of these questions. And when you have those questions, there's nothing wrong with your questions. This is exactly what I told your parents. When they're having certain questions, it's okay if you can sit with them, talk to them, and see how much you can answer them or connect them to someone who can answer them, but have conversations. When you have questions, have conversations. I know many a time teenagers say, when I have questions, I don't like to talk to anyone, It's be good for you to talk, because I tell you something very interesting. You as a teenager, when you begin to share your questions and talk about your questions, your nagging doubt or nagging questions, or some of those places where you're beginning to question yourself, when you begin to talk, as you're talking, many a times I have seen many of the teenagers and young people have found the answer. Boom. Yeah. Oh, yes. Sometimes I've sat and counseled them, and halfway through they would just say, I don't know what I came to ask for. I think I already have the answer. Right? That's fantastic. Sometimes after the counseling, I would just say, yeah, you're brilliant. You're amazing. You got the answers. Oh, great. Bye-bye. See you. Maybe the next person can come in. Sometimes when I sit in the schools and, counsel one-on-one, this have happened several times. Start those conversations. You know why sometimes your conversations becomes very difficult? Sometimes you find it very difficult to have conversations, or sometimes it's difficult conversations, or you even find it difficult to have conversations. You know why? Because of difficult circumstances. It's a difficult circumstances you don't want to talk about. If I'm going to talk about, I'm going to be shouted down upon. Nobody's going to believe me. I don't know whether they're going to accept me. I don't know what it is, and things like that. I understand difficult circumstances. Young people, teenagers, I don't know if you know my story. I was abused, and I grew up in an abusive family. I grew up many a times on the streets, and I was running away, eating from trash cans, eating from, different places. And, it was a very difficult journey. You're talking about difficult environment. Here, you're looking at one. It's been very difficult. Yeah, it was very difficult. If you're talking about somebody who's come from a difficult journey, you're looking at one. It was a very difficult journey. Now remember this: your difficult journeys don't break you, your difficult journeys make you. But depends on how you are going to respond in that situation. Not react, not just simply shout and things like that. No. How are you going to respond to that situation? How are you going to take it up? So the cynicism of the mind, you're able to deal with it. Sometimes you're not able to deal with it because of a difficult journey. But remember, those difficult times doesn't break you, it builds you up. Now, the third reason of how you can deal with some of those cynicism of the mind, or it becomes difficult to deal with the cynicism of the mind, there's an unmet need. Sometimes it's the need for somebody to love you. Sometimes it's a need for somebody to show affection. It's a need for somebody to give you that affirmation. I've seen several times when I've counseled teenagers, young people say this: I've never seen anybody appreciate me. I've never seen my mom appreciate me. I've never seen my dad appreciate me. I've never seen any of my friends involve me into their gangs, and they always brand me. They always call me by names and, different things and things like that. I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. But can you find some friend? My prayer for you is very simple, that God would send somebody with whom you would be able to find that person able to meet your unmet need. Now, wait a minute. I know some of you are saying, oh, that's why I have my girlfriend, boyfriend. Sometimes it may not be the greatest friendship or relationship to meet that unmet need. You may have to find somebody older. Boys, find some men who can be maybe your grandfather, maybe your father. Girls, find some woman, maybe your mom, maybe your grandmother, maybe one of the teachers that you're connected with. Find to see how your unmet need can be met. Because the problem is this: many teenagers today are struggling, are screaming to meet that unmet need, and they're going into so many different directions to meet the unmet need. Finally, they get squashed, they get beaten up, and everything happens, and they sit there wondering, is my need still met or not met, or wondering how they can meet it. It's in relationships. It's only in relationships. Relationship with God, your Heavenly Father, and the relationship with some amazing people. Don't walk away from that place of relationships. There's a beautiful statement in one of our trainings we do. Many teenagers, many young people are hurt in relationships, but they can also be healed in relationships. The cynicism of the mind, you can deal with it. It is possible to deal with it. Don't give up on your life.